Well, hello, and welcome back to my life. I'm Maisha Meeks, and on this channel, I talk about being a single mom, life after 40, being an entrepreneur, but most importantly, being a believer. So, if any of these things interest you, or if you want to learn more about me, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and stay tuned. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. I couldn't thank you enough. Like, this has been amazing because you know this is faith led. You know, if you don't, you'll know. I'm so terribly uncomfortable, but it's getting a little better, you know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is pretty exciting because I get to talk about my other baby. Yeah, I got two babies. I got my birth baby, and then I have this baby. Yes. My book, Bobby's Magic Pencil. So people are curious. People want to know what the process was like writing and even self-publishing my own book. So here you go. Bobby's Magic Pencil came to me. It wasn't a dream. It was just like God spoke to me, like, you need to write a children's book. And at the time, this is way before Serenity. I was in my 20s, living life. At the time, I was more of a songwriter and a poet, doing spoken word versus writing children's book, because I really wasn't around a lot of kids. I couldn't tell you the first thing about writing a children's book, right? But God kept, he kept in my ear, like, Maisha, you need to do this. This is what I want you to do. So I started kind of jotting down things and jotting down ideas. And I remember my mom has always had beautiful handwriting, and at the time, I don't know if they were taking cursive out of schools, but I don't know. It was just placed on my heart to write a book about cursive handwriting, right? So, I didn't really finish it. I just kind of start and put some bits and pieces together. And I remember going to church one Sunday, and my pastor at the time preached a sermon that was called, "Don't Start Something You Can't Finish." I'm like, all right, God, I got you. That was a Sunday. That next Monday, I remember sitting in my apartment and writing Bobby's Magic Pencil from beginning to end. When I completed it, I called my aunt, who at the time was a teacher, and I believe she was teaching kindergarten. She was teaching little people. And so I was like, hey, Aunt Angie, I want to read a story for you. Do you have time? Yes. Read her the story. She was like, oh my God, that's great. I love it. Who wrote that? I was like, me. And she was like, wow, Maisha, that's amazing. And so her approval meant the world to me, because that's what she does. Like, she was around kids, so she knew what children would like to hear, right? So from that point on, it was like, okay, I have a story. Now what? I love beautifully illustrated books. I just do. And one of, if not my favorite illustrator's name is Frank Morrison. And so I was like, he's going to illustrate this book. Yes, he is, because he's my favorite. He's dope. I love his artwork. It's magical. And at the time, I'm sure a lot of y'all remember Quincy Carter. He was our quarterback here at one point. He wasn't playing on the team at this time, but we were really good friends, right? And so Quincy was like, okay, Ma, I'm going to introduce you to some people that might be able to help. And he did. So he saw the passion that I had for getting this book completed, right? Yes, I'm calling you out, Q. And so he did what he could with his status to help as much as he possibly could. And we were looking for literary agents, because I had to do research, like, how do you get this done? So I was looking for literary agents, and it was difficult because those people didn't know me. I had never written a children's book. And I also knew that if I were to sign with a publishing house, there was a great possibility that they would want to change my idea. And in my mind, I knew Bobby my main character was supposed to have dreadlocks. Now, this is like the early 2000s. Dreadlocks were not a thing like they are now. So I kind of knew that they weren't going to go for it. And so I'm really big on my truth. And if I see something and I want something, I'm going to take that path that will take me there, if that makes sense. Even if that means not signing with a big agency, right? Okay. So years pass. He moves to Georgia. I have Serenity, and she's around 4, right? I'm on Facebook, and I see that Frank Morrison is doing an autograph signing in Georgia where Quincy lives, right? In an area near where Quincy lives. So I said, hey, Q, he's going to be there signing books, da, 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 da. And he was like, well, give me the number to his studio. I was like, okay. So I found it, gave it to him. Now tell me why this busy illustrator man answered the phone for Quincy. And he told Quincy he's never at the studio, hardly ever answers the phone, but he just happened to on that day. Just happened to. Thank you, God. Mm-hmm. But Quincy was excited. He called me. He was like, Ma, you need to call him right now. He's waiting on your phone call. I gave him your story. Boom, 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 boom. Called him, and I was so nervous. It was like me talking to Michael Jackson on the phone. Like, that's how excited I was to talk to this man. And palms sweating. And he was just so gracious, right? But unfortunately, he was signed to like this big agency, and so he couldn't help me as far as my illustrations, which is fine because he helped me in other ways. He pretty much gave me the lay of the land when it comes to this industry. And he said, Maisha, it's not easy. It's not easy at all to get in, but once you're in, you're in. So that's something that stuck with me. We became Facebook friends, Instagram friends, and we keep up. He sees my progress, and I'm always seeing his progress. But the fact that he was able to bless me with those nuggets meant more to me than anything, right? So those are things that he told me, amongst other things that I just keep with me. So I fast forward to 2020, and we have this whole pandemic, right? Serenity's home. I'm home. I have no salon. Now what? God's like, finish that book. How am I going to do that? I don't have a job. I thought about all the things I didn't have. He said, but you have a story. Finish the book. You have resources. Finish the book. I will help you with funds. And then all of a sudden it was like clients and classmates started sewing in seeds and giving me money during this difficult time. And I was like, okay. So I say all that to say, he has been my provider. Like, even when I had all the excuses in the world why I couldn't do something, God has always shown me how he makes it so I am able to do whatever it is that he's called me to do. So that's a quick word. That was a sidebar that, even though you feel like you may not have all the tools and all the education and everything that you need to fulfill whatever it is you're supposed to be fulfilling, if God has put it on you to do something, he's going to provide you with everything you need. He always told me, Maisha, all you have is all you need. So I say all that to say, that was all him, not me. Thank you. But so 2020, a friend of mine told me about Fiverr. It's a outsourcing app. So you can go on there and outsource like illustrators. You can do writers, voiceover actors, anything, whether it's from creative to legal work, whatever. You can even do your resume on Fiverr. But anyway, you can hire people to do things for you. So I found my illustrator on Fiverr. He is amazing. Now, the collaboration between the two of us was great because, like, something as simple as him creating Bobby with an afro. No, I don't want an afro, bro. I told you locks. He had the locks going back. So I had to show him, like, the image that I had in my head. I can't draw, but he was able to get where I was going, and he created this beautiful piece of work. And as far as like the mama, I wanted mama to be kind of thick. He created her to be thick and relatable, because not all mamas are skinny. But anyway, he created my vision to a T, and I am so grateful. Now, is it Frank Morrison's work? No. But this is the work that God led me to do. Will Frank Morrison illustrate one of my books in the future? Yes, because I am speaking that into existence. But right now, I bask in the glory, and I so appreciate the opportunity to be able to network with certain people and illustrators, because this journey was not easy. And to be able to have my book published on Amazon, self-published at that. I forgot to mention, I did create a publishing house, because in the searching for a literary agent, and I wanted to do it myself, that's when I created My Wordplay Publishing. So through My Wordplay Publishing, MYE, I was able to self-publish this book. And I have to give all glory to God, because I'm able to sell it on Amazon, barnesandnobles.com, walmart.com, and I also created a workbook to go along with it. So the book is about cursive handwriting, and it's only fit to have a workbook to go along with it. Because of the lost art of cursive handwriting, I want to keep it alive for those that are willing. And so the book is beautiful. The workbook is beautiful, because you can still have your children practice, and the names that I've created in the workbook are relatable. Obviously I put Serenity's name, but they're just different names. It's not like Jack, Sue, Ann, which is nothing wrong with those names, but I have like Nisha and Zio, just different creative names, because it was my project and I was able to do what I wanted. And because of God's will and his grace, I was able to put out something in one of the most difficult years of everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the story of Bobby's Magic Pencil in a nutshell. I put everything in a nutshell, but if there's any specific questions that you may have, like formatting books and like all the details of the book, just hit me up and I'll do my best to explain or guide you in the directions that you may need to go if you are self-publishing a book or children's books right now. I want you to know, self-publishing a children's book versus self-publishing just a book without images, two completely different processes. So just know that. But both are well worth it. So if this content has been interesting to you, and if you've gotten anything out of it, please feel free to subscribe, like, hit that bell, because I'll have more stuff coming your way. If I missed anything, please enlighten me, because y'all know I'm an open book, but no pun intended. But thank you guys for watching. I will leave a link to Bobby's Magic Pencil in my description for those that are interested. And I will see you soon. Love y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.